Bear down, Chicago Bears. Welcome into Bears' latest Fan Art Sports. I am Dan Levy. Thanks again for joining. Once again, first and foremost, I can't not stress this enough about the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers suck. I had to say it. Had to be said. With that being said, we got a great show for you for today. T-minus 2 days until we take on the Dallas Cowboys. They come to the Soldier Field area when they bring an old friend, now foe, back to his old stomping grounds. Matt Eberflus is making a comeback to Soldier Field on the other side of the field with the Cowboys. He's now the defensive coordinator. Whatever. We'll talk about that as well. Bears are starting to feel the heat. Some players are definitely starting to feel this Chicago heat wave. And this seat only gets hotter every time we lose. And we'll talk about that as well. But first and foremost, we will talk about two people that spoke this week at Hallis Hall. Both Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams spoke to the media this week, both reflecting on their time that they played against the Lions for last Sundays, and we will put that one to bed. And they'll talk about what they learned and things that they are learning from this, and we'll also get a peek as to what they're thinking going into this game against the Cowboys. First and foremost, here's Ben Johnson just recapping his thoughts and his visions of when he looked back at the tape and what he is experiencing and thinking how to move on from the game against the Lions from last week. And that was definitely a very funny way of doing it. I couldn't have planned that one better myself. Sound effects, that was hilarious. All right, here's Ben Johnson talking about the Lions. That's awesome.
There were things all over the tape on all three phases that we're looking to clean up. And I thought as a whole that team, they played a little bit harder than us. And that's a reflection of me as a coach. That's a reflection of our coaching staff, and it's a reflection of our players too. When you play a good team like that on the road, that you gotta be all out and every single snap, and that just was not the case. So specifically, it was everybody.
I don't think the Lions played harder than the Bears. I don't think that's a fair assessment for Ben Johnson to say. I appreciate his honesty. I appreciate him trying to be candid, but he knows they didn't play better than the Bears. The Bears are just not that team yet. They're not there yet. There's no way they played harder than the Bears. I don't like that term when people say that. They just played a little bit harder. They wanted it a little bit more. They just wanted it a little bit more. No, this wasn't a case of two teams that were close enough in talent and one just played harder than the other. You were undermatched. The Bears are not that team yet. Let's get honest about this team. There's still a lot of potential. There is still a lot of things that are going to go good and bad, but it's not going to go good for a while. It just isn't. It's not that team. They haven't gelled. The system is too new. You, my friend, are a new head coach, and you are new at being the man of the building. We know what you can do as an offensive coach, but what are you as a head coach? You're still in that seat as well. You are the rookie this year. Caleb is not. Colston Loveland is. Roma Dunze is not. A lot of these guys are not. You are in the rookie position, buddy. So nobody wanted it more than someone else. No one played harder than anybody else. So we're going to stop that talk because nobody wanted anything more. It's just not the team. This isn't the right team right now to face against your old guys. And guess what? It's probably not going to be pretty this Sunday either against the Lions or against the Cowboys, but we'll see how that goes. Here's a little more candid conversation. This was Caleb Williams when he spoke about what he thought about what happened with the Lions.
There was just a few situations that come to mind that even in those, maybe long down and distances that we had throughout that last game we had a couple second and super longs and so being able to get them the ball as fast as possible, let them, catch, tuck, knife and get maybe 12, maybe more if they bounce off a few tackles. But that's a part of playing QB. It's a part of the game. And, like Ben said, it's him, but also, it's me when I'm out there on the field of being able to, drop back, see the coverage and just, maybe pop the ball down to one of those guys, even if it's those situations where we're trying to fight back and get back into the game. It's just one play at a time. And how you come back in games is taking it one play at a time.
One play at a time, that is all very cliche. And I understand that as well, Caleb. But when the press you a little bit harder, it's more than that. it's not just making the play. It's not just getting up and doing the next one and, making one play at a time. It's your accuracy. That's the thing that we're all kind of worried about here, bud. That's what we're looking at. So the press did ask you about your accuracy, and what did you have to say about that?
Obviously, footwork is, it's up there with, top list of things to be able to be accurate. And that's huge for me just because, all the talent per se, just being able to do, some simple basic stuff of just having my feet and eyes all tied together and being in rhythm with, the routes and my receivers. And so I think having that and focusing on that each and every week is important. And that's something I'm going to do for, the remainder of the season.
So, again, it's the accuracy. These are the things that we think can be fixed. These are the things, the intangibles. Remember I said that there's certain intangibles and there's things about Caleb Williams that that are the non-intangibles, the things that he is naturally blessed at doing, the scrambles, the athletic ability, the creativeness, all those kinds of things. You can't teach people how to do that well. Caleb does that well. What we do want to see you do, buddy, is start to get better at the accuracy. This is year 2 for you with the Bears. Coaching or not coaching, footwork, getting the right things under control, it's going to take time. And remember, like I said before, during the preseason, they didn't have a lot of time to work on this team. Because of the collective bargaining agreement, there was not a lot of practice time. There was not a lot of attention to trying to get these guys doing 2 days. They did not have a lot of, even the optional workouts has not been enough. So we are still seeing what should have been happening with the preseason and training camp of these guys gelling and figuring things out. Unfortunately, it's going to unfold in front of our very eyes, and this is what I wish they would say, is that we are still not past training camp ready for this season, and we're in it. So, again, I'm not crushing the Bears right now. It's just not good right now. It's not going to be good right now, but it will be. I am still very optimistic that this team can start to show some good. Now, it's going to get ugly. I don't think it's going to turn around that fast, and if it does, I will be pleasantly surprised as a Bears fan. But I'm looking at the little wins. I'm looking at the little things for them to get better at. So it's nice to hear that one in general. And it's nice to know that Caleb Williams is starting to speak to quarterbacks that have been successful in the league. He said earlier that he's been trying to watch videos and tapes of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. I wanted to know what quarterbacks he's dealing with, what other successful guys. And he actually said that he's been talking to Tom Brady, and here's been their relationship so far.
Just text every once in a while, reach out, and if I have any questions or if he's been through, he played 23 years or something like that. He's seen just about everything. So, it's more or less me asking questions and, if he's been through this experience and how he dealt with it or maybe things like that. But just reaching out every once in a while.
No, ask him all the questions. He did not go through what you're going through in this beginning part. He was not drafted number 1 overall in the NFL. He was not chosen to be the cornerstone and the person that turns around the New England Patriots. They had Drew Bledsoe. He was the franchise quarterback. Then he got hurt, and they turned it over to Tom Brady, who was one of the last draft picks in his class, and he somehow became the guy. Ask him about the routine. Ask him about what it takes to be the best. That's what we want you to do. So I'm not sure what texts go on. Maybe you do. Maybe there is a running dialogue that we don't know about, but don't ask about if he's been through what you've been through. He's not yet. That dude came in and performed and was ready to roll. We want to know that is what's coming for you as well. So I'm glad that you're starting to get that as well. Ben Johnson, here's what he has to say as we look towards the next. When you're practicing out there, Ben Johnson, are you practicing? Is this a team that's worth practicing and getting to the next level?
Are there guys that need to practice better too?
I think our practice habits are yet to reflect the championship caliber team.
Well, so is your on-the-field habits. I don't know what you're doing in practice anymore, but your on-the-field habits are not doing it. And you, my friend, as a coach, need to work on that as well. So he's starting to get testy, and we're going to talk about that. These guys are feeling this 0-2. And the things that we were talking about during the offseason, they are starting to feel. But here's a little more about the Cowboys and what Ben Johnson thinks about going into this next game.
In regards to Jalen Johnson, really nothing official has been decided yet with him, so no update there. We're looking ahead here for Dallas coming in town. Should be a good matchup. This is a hot team right now. We know that they can score points in a hurry. playmakers all across the field. Offensive line's playing at a high level right now. And then, of course, the quarterback he's playing some of the best football in the NFL right now, in my opinion. So,
all right, so that's what we got for Eberflus when it's coming up and what they need to do to kind of do things. Here's what's happening right now. It's probably not going to be a pretty game. It's going to be, according to the odds makers, it should be pretty close. Both teams have defensive struggles. Both teams are not doing great. They have an offense that is used to clicking. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, they are going to be just fine. But the Bears players, you're already starting to feel this right now. The offensive line is getting exposed to not being where it should be. Grady Jarrett is calling out the blowout loss as a defining moment. He's saying that a guy who joined the Bears after 11 seasons with Atlanta, that he told reporters Monday that the game will be a defining moment for this team moving forward. The defensive confidence remains intact, however. The defense says that Jarrett is still insisting that the unit will not lose confidence and expect Cowboys improvement in the pass rush. So Grady Jarrett is one of the guys who is saying that he's not happy. And what I'm hearing from a lot of people, especially people in the locker room, that Grady Jarrett and among other Bears players, you can hear that in Ben Johnson's voice. They're not happy, and they are very clear that they are saying and not saying that they are hearing these comments. They are seeing and reading all the comments that people are talking about them. Ben Johnson said he's going to give all the players the negative stuff. They are reading everything. They're reading the comments, they're reading the papers, they're watching YouTube videos just like this one and hearing the negativity. So, Grady, the Bears, let me prove it to you this. We as Chicago want these wins just as much as you do, but not as much. Obviously, this is your livelihood. It's what you do. But we get paid, and we do the things that we do because of what you do on the field. So remember this when you're playing. You're in a major market that is looking for a real drastic improvement. Do some history, do some YouTube watching. Who was this franchise? What is this franchise? What is it going through? We've never had a successful quarterback that we've put our entire football hopes on before. So this is what we're hoping for. We went and got an offensive coach to be the savior of this team, and we are not seeing the dividends paid off. I know as a Bears fan, and I am comfortable and I am confident this team can turn some things around. I'm just looking for the little wins right now from this Bears team. I am looking for them to do some things on the field that we haven't really, it's not going to be drastic. It's not going to be major, not going to blow anybody out, but can Caleb Williams work on the accuracy stuff? Can he start to make the real plays? We know what he can do in a scramble. We know what he can do in transition. Matt Eberflus, you're coming back. You're probably going to get the win on us. Don't be surprised that guy walks out like Matt Nagy with fists in the air. But guess what, dude? As a head coach, you stunk. That's why you're gone. Good luck on the other franchise. You'll always be a second fiddle, and you'll be the guy that ruined it. But you gave us Ben Johnson. So for that, we say thank you. Hope to beat you, but if we lose to you, it's not your defense that did it, buddy. It's his offense trying to figure out what it is. That's going to do it for Bears Latest on Fan Art Sports. I'm Dan Levy. Thanks again for jumping on with us. Once again, the Green Bay Packers suck. Bear down. We got a big one ahead of us. Hopefully we pull out the win, but if not, look for the little things. The little wins is what I'm looking for. That's how it's going to go down. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Packers suck. We'll do it again. See ya.